Hey guys, it's Reviews and More back with another review on a kitchen item, the Power Cooker Plus. This is a one-touch pressure cooker system. It's an as seen on TV item. And like always, before we get started, if you find this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. What I will tell you right off the bat, if you want to see this item cook something, skip to about 4 minutes and 50 seconds in, and you'll see it cooking rice. The ratios are 1-to-1 water to rice, nothing too fancy. I will not be showing you all the cool stuff this can cook. I'm actually going to add more videos and put this into a playlist devoted to this particular item because functionally in my household, I don't need to cook 5 things in a row and have a stupid amount of food in my house that'll just go bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a basic review video with the unboxing, show off portions and elements of the actual item with the cooking video at 4 minutes 50 seconds in, just so you can see how long it actually takes and how it actually functions. And from there we'll add more to the playlist. I think the first thing I'll do is beef stroganoff, so that will be the next item on the playlist eventually, and I'm hoping to put that up this weekend, so it'll be kind of short succession video within a few days. So with that being out of the way, the item is robust. I like it so far. I haven't cooked anything beyond rice in it yet as of making this video, but so far it cooks nicely. It's very robust. It feels very sturdy in my hand. It does not seem like it's made of cheap plastic. It feels very, very heavy considering the price tag of about 70 bucks on sale, or I think up to 100 bucks depending on where you buy it. If you buy it at like Bed Bath & Beyond kind of areas, it's going to be up a little higher. But I actually got this from Sam's Club. It was on a discount because it was just, I guess, their pre-Black Friday kind of deal. Not sure why. There are other brands similar to this that kind of look the same, do the same thing. This is the lower end. This is cheaper. There's more expensive ones out there, so that's kind of what we're looking at here. But because it's as seen on TV, we might not necessarily see it if we literally order this online for our loved ones. This gives you a chance to look at it. On the inside, you will find, obviously, the pan. I'm sorry, not the pan, the reservoir. It's 8 quarts. It is made of aluminum with a nonstick coating, which I assume is some kind of Teflon, although I cannot tell and I could not find in the information what it's actually coated with. There you'll see the lid with the seal on it for the pressure cooking. And you'll see a vegetable steamer on the top there. There is no separate basket. What it is that little disc that you're about to see when I pull it in front of you right there. And it rests inside of a nook inside of the basin. So it has the aluminum basin where the veggie cooker kind of sits on top. Short power cord. I wish the power cord a little longer, give you some more space to work with, but you know, you get what you pay for. It wasn't super expensive, and it's a power cord that's a standard style power cord. You can replace it with a longer one if you want to spend the money to buy it. Comes with a standard measuring cup. That's more like a rice cooker measuring cup, as well as a rice cooker style ladle. I don't trust this thing to make small batches of rice, and I say that because I feel like the amount of water it would take to cover the bottom, because pressure cooking requires some amount of water, that it just wouldn't do it without drying the rice out, possibly burning it. So I haven't made a small batch of rice of like a cup of rice. I've only done 2 cups or more, and that's a fairly substantial amount of rice for 1 to 2 people. And that's my one gripe about it, but that's, I think, an issue with any given pressure cooker that has a rice cooking function, because it's not designed the same exact way as a traditional rice cooker is. But what's cool about this is it's a push button method. One push takes care of it, and you can kind of move on and walk away. The other benefit is there's lots of safety features. There's locking mechanisms. There's a safety valve on it for pressure. There's no way you can inadvertently leave it on because it has an auto off. It'll go, like, once it's done cooking, it turns on to auto warm, where the pressure no longer builds, so you don't have to worry about there being a little bomb in your house. So you avoid that, all the old-fashioned horror stories like grandma's pressure cooker exploding that one time, that one Thanksgiving or whatever. You don't have that happen. The locking mechanism, again, feels pretty daggone robust. It feels like you're locking like a safe just because it's the way it shuts. But other than that, that's all I'm going to say about this particular portion, because that's all there really is to it. You just shut it down, and then it'll go from there. The instructions are fairly simple, but it depends on what you're cooking. So from this point on, you're going to see me basically putting the rice stuff together and throwing a little bit of olive oil in there that's been flavored with cilantro. Very yummy, very delicious, worked out great. But the only other issue you might want to keep in mind is the venting valve up there that I'm manipulating right now with my hand. When it turns to like locked position, it's locked even when that arrow is not over top of itself. So the little locking arrow, the only time it's open is literally when that little arrow for the open symbol is right on top of it. So you're not going to inadvertently unlock it by accident. If you do it, you'll notice pretty quickly as steam will pop out. It works very, very quickly. It cooks very, very quickly. The one issue I had with cooking this amount of rice, so 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of water, which is the ratio they recommend, was the fact that once it was done cooking, the rice was definitely saturated, definitely cooked through, definitely hot. But because the actual pressure cooker was still hot, it almost dried out the bottom layer of rice. So if you do cook rice in this, you basically got to grab it, stir it up, or throw the lid back on top of it quickly, or possibly just leave it on warm for a little while and let the pressure slowly decrease, and then not worry about it too much. Yeah, so 6.5 minutes to heat and pressure. So this rice was done in about 12 minutes. 12 minutes is not a bad time to wait for rice, considering cooking rice normally might take 10 minutes after the rolling boils happen on a pan, or in a rice cooker take 10-15 minutes as well. So it's a great replacement for a rice cooker without losing other functionality as well. All I will say this, it's a fairly bulky unit compared to a traditional size of a rice cooker. But once it goes, it's good to go. 6 minutes, and that's the actual time. It doesn't like change as it goes on. It's 6 minutes, and that thing's done. Once you release the pressure on the valve, it will shoot out real fast, and eventually when the pressure hits that critical minimum, the whole system will unlock again. If the pressure is in this system, yeah, use a spatula, by the way, too. Once that little red thingy right there pops down, it'll lose pressure, and then it will unlock. You cannot open this thing unless you just pry it open with like a tool of some kind, if that locking mechanism is in place. So there's an auto lock in there when pressure's on to avoid any mishaps or burning yourself, so you are fairly good there. And as you see here, I'm having a little bit of issues getting this thing to actually stay open, because it will only stay open if it's dead right on top of that open valve symbol over top of the base arrow, which you'll see like right around the little red thing is right there. And in just a moment, you're going to hear it turn off, because I'm going to stop talking. You'll actually get to hear the item turn off and what it does when it disengages. And guys, that's the sound it makes. That means it's safe to open up. It'll unlock fairly easily, and from there you can have rice or whatever you're cooking in there. And the next recipe I'll probably do is beef stroganoff. Some liquid will drip down, so be careful with that depending on what you're cooking in there, but it wasn't a big deal with the rice. And thanks for watching, guys. That's all there is. I'll add another video to the playlist probably the next couple of days. That will be beef stroganoff, and we'll see how that goes, and we'll see what real cooking in this thing looks like, not just cooking a big helping of rice. So thanks again for watching. Thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this stuff, or see more on the later playlist I discussed earlier. Have a great night.